As we're thinking about hour 7 and the fact that this hour is taking us through readings of both text and image, it's worthwhile to stop for a moment and think of the key word for this hour, which has special significance. And I'm not playing with words when I say special significance. The word is Sēma, which can either mean a sign or signal, but it can also mean the tomb of a hero. And when we say hero here, we mean how that word was understood in the ancient Greek world. Somebody who is larger than life, somebody who is worshipped after death, and somebody who can even be a stylized ancestor. And I love the fact that when it comes to a picture of a tomb of a hero, or any kind of representation of a tomb of a hero, that picture is also a Sēma. So it's not just the tomb of a hero, but the picture of the tomb of a hero. And for that matter, Sēma can mean any picture. A wonderful word. And sometimes I'm tempted to translate it even more basically as meaning. Sēma as meaning. And that really works because when you think of the fact that you're looking at the picture in image A1 and the picture in image B1, well, what is being pictured there? The tomb of a hero, not just any hero, but the tomb of Achilles, which will be also the tomb for Patroklos. Now, that tomb would be called the Sēma, but a picture of that tomb is also a Sēma. And so you see, it really is a matter of meaning. If you ask yourself, well, what does this picture mean? Well, the meaning is the Sēma. As Marshall McLuhan would say, the medium is the message, and the message is the meaning. And once you see how important this word Sēma is, you get a sense of how important the tomb of a hero or the tomb of an ancestor is to an ancient Greek social unit. I say social unit because I have one example in mind that is bigger than all other examples. I mean the quote-unquote social unit of the Mycenaean Empire, the first empire we can establish both archaeologically and historically, the first empire in Europe. This Mycenaean Empire has a gorgeous citadel, which is still very visible, beautifully excavated at Mycenae. That's why we refer to the empire as Mycenaean Empire. And in a travel study situation with Harvard students and Harvard alumni, we actually got to see the number one attraction at Mycenae. Some people would think, oh, number one attraction visually is the Acropolis, the top of the citadel of Mycenae. But you could make the argument that something that is even more important is the tomb of the kings of Mycenae, which is a beehive tomb that is in your face as you come to this gorgeous and most impressive spot in the ancient Greek world, arguably the most important spot in the ancient Greek world in the second half of the second millennium BCE. And archaeologists, unfortunately, refer to this as the Treasury of Atreus. To say that it belongs to Atreus is a romanticizing exercise, so don't worry about what this place is called fancifully. It really is a tomb, and it's a tomb for the dynasty of the kings that ruled Mycenae in its glory days, as I say, roughly in the second half of the second millennium BCE. And I love the fact that when you enter the facade area of the tomb, you see the most spectacular feats of Mycenaean architecture. Even the building material, which is called conglomerate, is the most precious and most prestigious of all building materials in that era. And clearly, if you're, let's say, a pharaoh of Egypt like Amenhotep III, and you're visiting Mycenae, or perhaps it's your emissary who's visiting Mycenae, we do have archaeological evidence of a cartouche left behind by the delegates on this Egyptian visit. I am positive that this is the first place that the Egyptian VIP would see to understand the meaning of the Mycenaean Empire. Meaning is conveyed by the prestige of the ancestors, in this case, the dynastic ancestors of the ruling king. So you see how Sēma, if it means meaning, and if it also means the tomb of a hero or an ancestor, really tells you everything about the ancient Greek idea of a hero. In a sense, this word, and then pictures that represent this word, such as the white egg-shaped mass that rises out of the earth and that you see front and center in the paintings of A1 and B1, the primary images that we're exploring. In a sense, that evidence, taken all together, gives you the idea of the hero all by itself. There you have text and image coming together. Keyword for hour 7, Sēma. So you like, that's text in one word. Key image for hour 7, the white egg-shaped mass, which is not just the tomb of the hero or ancestor, in this case, Achilles, it's also the meaning of Achilles because it is a Sēma.